Alzheimer's blood tests offer new promise to diagnose and predict the disease, that's what the headline says, and it couldn't be more accurate.
A week ago at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference in London, scientists presented evidence that could transform how we find and fight this silent killer.
2 studies bring fresh insights into the growing field of blood-based diagnostics.
In one study, conducted in a primary care setting, doctors were asked to determine whether patients' cognitive symptoms exchanged by these tests were due to Alzheimer's. They did a diagnosis first, and then they got the blood test results before repeating it. The chance of getting it right from 62% to a solid 88%. The doctors said they would change their treatment plans, some would start medications, others would refer to a memory clinic or even discharge the patient, more than 60% of the time.
This isn't a lab exercise, it's a real-world study, though paperback is still awaiting peer review.
The second study, published in the journal JAMA, places even more hope on our side. The researchers used the same kind of blood test to see if it could predict risk of Alzheimer's-related cognitive decline over spans of 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years.
The test looks at 2 proteins, amyloid and tau, that are markers of the disease.
In particular, the p-tau217 variant has come up as the most accurate marker. These markers are measured via a straightforward blood draw, far cheaper and simpler than the gold standards of PET scans or lumbar punctures. The overall goal is to shift Alzheimer's from a crisis point to an early, treatable condition. If we can identify people at risk before symptoms even appear, it opens a window for prevention strategies and stronger therapeutic intervention.
That's what all these studies point toward. Yet caution remains. Even though the tests are approved in the United States for use with patients who show cognitive problems, experts are still debating the best way to weave them into routine care. Some worry about the variability and accuracy, and others point out that the data are still a work in progress. The future is promising, but the science is still unfolding. What does this mean for individual patients?
Imagine a busy primary care clinic where a simple blood draw could double the chance that a doctor makes the right diagnosis. It could also give people who are still feeling sharp a realistic idea of their future risk for Alzheimer's disease.
For the families in the healthcare system, that could mean earlier treatment decisions, fewer costly referrals, and a chance to plan for the future.
These blood tests herald a new era in Alzheimer's care. They bring hope that we 665 patient not only treat the symptoms, but also start the conversation about prevention, lifestyle interventions, and promising drugs.
And because they're simpler and less invasive, they're more accessible.
That accessibility could mean a larger portion of people may get diagnosed sooner, earlier in the disease process. The science is still evolving, the trials are ongoing, but the story is clear: blood tests are on the brink of moving Alzheimer's from an inevitable destination to a predictable challenge. I'm excited to see how clinicians integrate these tools in everyday practice and how this might change the landscape of memory care.
Until next time, Port. Thank you for joining me today.
Stay curious, stay informed, and as always, see you next week for more stories that matter.